Oh, real fast. I do want to cover this. I almost forgot. Um, the person that ICE hired and killed the innocent man who's done nothing wrong, even if he was an illegal immigrant, has no reason to murder him on the street. He was a violent man with violent tendencies.
In all my time and years covering shootings by law enforcement, often local police, one of the things that inevitably happens fairly quickly is that the shooter is identified, or shooters. Because after all, these are public officials. They're wielding public power, and we in the public have a right to know who they
Yep. That doesn't exist with ICE.
are, right? Whether they acted wrongly or not, it's a public matter of information. But that is not what happens after DHS officers kill.
It never happens with ICE officers. We never know. Like, it takes so much more work to uncover who the ICE officer was that did the shooting. It takes so much effort.
Someone in the Trump era. Now, instead, there's a cover-up, an all-hands-on-deck attempt to hide the identities of the agents involved as if that were a secret.
It's because they're all Jan Sixers.
Or private matter. But we still live in a free country. Reporters have a job to do, which is find out the truth. And this week, very fine reporters at the Associated Press and the Portland Press Herald have learned that the officer who killed a 25-year-old father in Biddeford, Maine this week is, in fact, 37-year-old David Brulett. Several close relatives, including 2 ex-wives and 1 daughter, told the AP that...
2 ex-wives? Oh my god, this guy was chud-maxing. Jesus, dude. Oh my god, misandry is so hard not to fall into the... It's so hard not to fall in the trap of misandry. It is so hard to not fall into the trap of misandry. This guy was clearly psychotic.
Brulett struggles with psychiatric issues, was diagnosed with severe bipolar disorder as a child, has a history of domestic violence and verbal abuse, and
granted, domestic violence occurs in the police force, so I guess that doesn't count him out.
Should never have been given a law enforcement badge. One of Brulett's ex-wives, Ashley, who he married after they graduated high school in 2007, told the AP that he once threw boiling water at her while she was holding their child.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no. This is, yeah.
Also recounted the incident. Ashley says she divorced him in 2009 because of repeated instances of physical violence, which nevertheless...
Isn't like 40% of cops domestic violence reports against them? Europe, and it's much higher than that without them.
Continued after she left him. He later remarried, divorced again in 2019. His second ex-wife filed for legal protection because of his abuse. The AP did not identify her because she fears retaliation. But the Associated Press did obtain hundreds of family court records detailing years of physical and verbal abuse against her and their daughters. Allegations like tackling his teenage daughter and dragging her around the house as she cried. An estranged immediate relative who spoke to the AP on the condition of anonymity said that Brulett grew up fascinated with the military and law enforcement, pledging to eventually join their ranks. They said he was initially rejected by military recruiters because...
I'm sorry, but all these fucking psychos are like, oh man, I can't wait to get into the military to shoot brown people, and then they get rejected because they're insane.
Because of his mental health diagnoses. But under guidance from recruiters, he went off his medications for a year, then reapplied. He was eventually able to enlist. He served in the National Guard from 2007 to 2010, then joined the regular army, deploying to Afghanistan from May 2012 to February 2013 before leaving the army as a sergeant in 2015. The AP and the Press Herald report he went on to hold several different jobs, many in law enforcement, including at a medium security prison. He joined ICE in late 2025 as the agency was ramping up its recruitment. Reporting at the time showed that, quote, some new ICE recruits have shown up to training without full vetting.
Oh yeah, for sure. They don't care. They don't care if you're quote unquote qualified for ICE. They just want you to kill brown people. That's all they want. You can only list if you're unmedicated for your mental illness as fucking psychotic. Oh yeah, dude, the US military has a bunch of insane people in it.
Around this time, Brulett left a voicemail for his first wife, Ashley, which she shared with the AP. In it, he repeatedly called her disgusting and suggested that she and the other women and girls in her bloodline should, quote, have your effing throats cut. Ashley told the AP, the Press Herald, that this week, Brulett...
He should have been sentenced to many years in prison for that. Like, hands down, without hesitation, in jail. See ya. See you later. Never holding a gun. The whole gun issue in America also extends to people like this who are pro-police, pro-cop, pro-gun, because they are psychotic.
Admitted to the fatal shooting in a phone call with her. She said he asked her to, quote, lie for him and to cover for his character. That the most important thing is his character right now. Ashley also spoke to NPR, telling their reporter she worries racism may have played a part in the shooting. Quote,
Oh, worries? It definitely did.
he has displayed racism. His nickname in high school was White Boy David, if that tells you anything. Now, I want to be clear, David Brulett did not respond to NPR AP's request for comment. ICE gave this statement, quote, we will never confirm or deny attempts to dox our law enforcement.
This isn't a doxing. This is a public official. You have the right to know who they are and what they have as a history. My tax dollars go to this guy.
Enforcement officers. The ICE officer in question has nearly a decade of federal law enforcement experience with required training, including use of force training. From where things stand now, it looks like Republicans funded a massive ICE hiring spree. ICE failed to adequately vet its new hires. A conservative Supreme Court has basically
No, they knew this guy was psychotic.
cleared the way for racial profiling and ICE stops. And now, yet another father is dead at the hands of federal agents.
There's so much I need to talk about ICE right now. Because we have this, which means that FBI is no longer gonna do ICE confrontation investigations, and the concentration camps that ICE has set up across the country. I will start calling detention facilities concentration camps going forward, by the way.
He was told to picture his happy place, his own personal mental trap door, the spot that he would escape to if he wasn't here. Because here was hell. Here was Camp East, Montana. It is the largest ICE detention facility in the United States, and it sits just outside the...
There's so much like government sanctioned assault of women. ICE is getting more and more power and vulnerability, and it should terrify everyone. Oh yeah, dude. Like, ICE agents just assault women in this place constantly. This has happened multiple times. This has been documented for years.
The border in El Paso, Texas, on the Fort Bliss military base. A new graphic and frankly chilling report by the ACLU and Human Rights Watch details the horrors held behind those walls, told through the experiences of those inside. Stories of people.
Yeah. And this is like the shit that happened at Luchka and like different places in Bosnia, different places across Poland during World War II, Bosnia during the Bosnian genocide. Like, shit, man.
People being denied proper medical care, of inedible food, stories of not even being able to see the sun for days. And I want to warn you, the accounts that you are about to hear are disturbing, but all of us here at Connect, we talked about this, we really do feel that you need to know what is happening at some of these detention centers. A detainee named Ismail told Human Rights Watch, quote, I sometimes look at my bed sheets and I wonder if it would be easier to hang myself instead of trying to survive this torture. I don't know how to describe what I'm feeling. I feel forgotten. People have died here and no one cares.
Nope, not a single one.
People have died here and no one cares.
Not a single Democrat cares. I don't understand how some people still think they put only here illegally and committed violent crimes because there's children in those too. Yeah, and even if they're an illegal immigrant, they shouldn't be subjected to this. If they committed violent crimes, they shouldn't be subjected to this. I'm sorry, but that's not how the legal system works.
He was asked about what resources were available to him for his mental health. He saw a counselor. What was the advice that he received there? Take some sleeping pills. Engage in breathing exercises. Visualize your happy place. Now, how can you imagine a happy place in hell? He could not. He went on to say this, quote, how absurd for a...
There's a reason, by the way, they're doing this now. After all the people, all the Holocaust survivors are pretty much dead. There is a reason why this didn't happen 20, 30 years ago.
Supposed medical professional to suggest that I could close my eyes, take deep breaths, and escape my reality when I'm forced to survive here, when my reality is probably going to end with my death in my home country. Another man at Camp East, Montana, said that his options are not great, and that is an understatement. Quote, when you get to El Paso, Texas, there's no going back. You're only getting out deported or dead. Deported or dead. The report details, and this is it, 71 detainees contacted over a 5-month period. 64 of them said they had either been personally assaulted by staff there or had seen it. One man, who had only been there a month at the time of his interview, shared, quote, the guards beat us. When one person speaks up for themselves, they take it out on all of us. It doesn't matter if you haven't done anything wrong. They beat you just for insisting on getting your rights, food, or medicine when you don't get it. It's clear to me that they're trying to make a point. The point is that they are in control and can do whatever they want with us. whatever they want with us. They can humiliate us, beat us, laugh at us, and nothing will happen to them. They tell us, quote, "You're an immigrant. This is not your country."
Every single one of these guards needs to be sentenced to life in prison. Every single one of them. If that doesn't, I will not be satisfied until every single one of these guards are sentenced to life in prison. Every single one of them deserves to be sentenced to life in prison. And there is a specific reason why the FBI is no longer investigating this shit.
Reporter who covers the DOJ and law enforcement, Devlin Barrett. He's on the byline for the reporting. Chris O'Leary is with us as well. Devlin, it's a pretty specific bit of pushback from this administration. Walk us through what your reporting shows you.
Right. The reporting shows very clearly that Thursday, written instructions were sent out to FBI managers in the field saying that going forward, the FBI would not investigate cases of what the law calls assault on a federal officer. The reporting also shows that that same day, similar written guidance went out to at least some of the ICE personnel. So, this exists in writing. It was circulated. I take the, denial as a sign that this is not something the administration is committed to. But I think it's important to keep in mind that when it comes to ICE policy and the killings that have happened as a result of ICE policies, we just saw a week ago that they, issued an order to stop doing car stops and then rescinded that order
immediately, by the way,
within a matter of, I think, 24 or so hours. So it's not unheard of, frankly, for some of these decisions to go back and forth. But I think what is important is, to me, what's most telling about the reporting is that these investigations are a real source of contention inside federal law enforcement because of these shootings, because of these confrontations, and because of the way the Justice Department has been charging some of these cases.
Why is there so much contention?
Well, for one thing, you have the issue of, in some of these instances, we know that FBI agents were told to investigate only the narrow question of whether the people who were shot or the people who had confrontations with the ICE agents assaulted those ICE agents. Now, one of the tricky parts of that for any investigation is you can't really truly investigate just one side of an interaction. Almost by definition, if you're investigating an interaction between two humans, you have to gather evidence about what both of those humans did. So even in instances where the FBI is assigned to investigate, let's say, an ICE agent shooting an individual, almost inherently you're going to gather some evidence that could in theory be used to investigate the agent themselves.
Yep. They don't want any paper trail that any of these agents are doing wrong. They want zero paper trail of any of this.
What's the track record on investigating these shootings? Do we have an update on what's happening after the two killings of American citizens in Minneapolis, Devlin?
Right. When it comes to Minneapolis, there has been a great deal of back and forth and, frankly, internal frustration that those investigations weren't broader, weren't more fulsome, frankly, and didn't address, the larger question of, did the ICE agent perhaps violate any laws here, particularly civil rights laws, particularly laws about actions taken under the color of law. That's the legal term. This is the backdrop to these discussions inside the government. How do you investigate, if you do investigate, these instances where ICE agents fire their weapons?
I wonder about messaging, what internal messaging is being sent to these ICE recruits and ICE officers. Last week we had...
They're being told, you're doing nothing wrong, keep going. That is what they're basically being told. Oh, man. This shit's so fucking frustrating to watch because, they're being told, oh, you guys can keep going on with what you're doing. It's okay. We will not come after you if you keep doing this. And they're all like this. All ICE agents are like this, by the way. This is not a individual ICE agent thing. This is pretty much the structural integrity of ICE is we will kill everybody. Every brown person is at a threat from ICE, and every queer person, honestly. ICE has the right to kill and shoot pretty much every single person on this in this country at this point. I don't know. Anybody who ever signed up for ICE, I'm sorry, but get ready for Nuremberg 2, because you deserve to get the fucking ass whooping of a century. There's not a single sane person that's an ICE agent. Yeah, there's not. Not a single person that's joined ICE that's a sane person. Dude, and all the comments in my last video about ICE are like, oh, ICE did nothing wrong. ICE did nothing wrong. They killed a person. They did nothing wrong. Guys, they shot and murdered somebody. You gotta understand that they shot and killed somebody, dude.